Mavis in action. We are about to begin right now, so we invite you to tune in as we sing our opening song, 595. You can join with us.
Continue in worship. Let me, as the host pastor, welcome you back to the evening's program with our young people. We want to invite your presence, your comments. You can leave it, and they will discuss as we go forward. They'll be discussing the whole matter of family dynamics, and we will have a discussion around that. I crave your attention, I crave your support and prayers for them as they go through this, as we keep the church alive in the various form. May I invite you to join me as we pray. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you. We thank you for who you are. We thank you that you love our family. We thank you you're a God of family and you're coming to save families. Now as the youths, Father, about to lead out this segment, we pray for your coverage. We pray for your guidance. We pray that you may lead them. And may whatever they do or say, may done to your name's honor and glory. In Jesus' name, amen. God bless you as we transit now to the panel. This afternoon, leading the AYS program, we have Sister Simon, Sister Purview, and also Sister Jennifer joining us from Mavis Bank, and they'll be leading us into the various discussions as we have that live discussion. God bless you and have a wonderful Sabbath as we discuss.
Good afternoon, viewers. My name is Anicia Simon, and I am Mavis Bank 7-Day Adventist Youth AY leader. Along with me is Monique Purville, my assistant AY leader. And to my far left is our guest, Sister Jennifer. All right, so this afternoon we'll be speaking about family dynamics. All right, let's look at what is a family. So a family is a socially recognized group, usually joined by blood, marriage, cohabitation, or adoption, that form an emotional, unit of society. And we will be touching on the different types of families. So our first family is the nuclear family, and this family may have more than one children who are biological or adopted, and the main idea is that the parents are raising their kids together in the family home. The next family is a single parent family, where one parent with the kid. Next family is the extended family. This is where a family with 2 or more adults who are related through blood or marriage, usually along with children, living together. We also have the childless family. So this is where a family with 2 parents, they decided that they don't want any children, or they cannot have any children. And sometimes they might want freedom, want to spend time together without any children. The fifth family is the step-parent family. So this is where 2 separate families come together with children to form a family. We also have the grandparent family. So this is when 1 or more grandparents is raising their grandchild or grandchildren without mother or father. And the last one now is the visiting union family. So this is where the parents visit each other for sexual pleasure or just to spend time with their children.
All right, and moving on to family dynamics. The family dynamics refers to how members of the family interact with each other, how the mother interacts with the father, how the children interact with their parents. Now, you have different type of family dynamics. You have positive dynamics and you have negative dynamics or dysfunctional dynamics of the family. Positive dynamics or positive or a healthy family refers to the children or the parents living in a cohesiveness or a peaceful environment. So there is no cussing, no fighting, no grudges, no name thrown or anything like that. So now the dysfunctional family might be parents arguing all the time, or very rebellious children, or probably somebody in the family might have like a drug or drinking or substance abuse problem, and that problem might extend to other persons. Thus the family becomes dysfunctional. A family is involved. Communication must occur in a family for it to be a functional family. Interactions are fluid and flexible and also changeable. So you can't have the same interactions all the time from the kids or children up to adulthood. Persons change, persons develop new senses and they know who they are. So the way how you treat people or kids when they're small, it might not be the same way you treat them when they're older, because as I said, they have changed. Now, the more numerous the family members, the more complex the interactions. So a family with, say, like 1 child might not have the same complications as a family with, say, like 3 or 4 kids. Because you know, with having more than 1 children, you might have sibling rivalry. You might have one parent favoring one child more than the other. Children might feel left out because parents are placing attention to one child more than the others. So that might happen. Roles change over time. So persons, traditionally, the mothers were seen as the household taker, right? They stay home, take care of the kids, take care of the house, and tend to their husband. Nowadays, the mothers are actually going out and helping to be the breadwinner also, which leads us into another discussion, the roles of each family member. So my sister here will tell us the role of the father in the family.
All right, so the traditional role of the family is the breadwinner. So he would go out and provide for his family. He is the caretaker and the disciplinarian of the child or the children. He make major family decision along with the help of the mother. So those are three major roles of the father within the family.
All right, moving on to the children of the family. So traditionally, when you have a girl in the family, that girl would normally help out with the mother in the kitchen or to do housework. And if it's a boy child, then that boy will then help the father with heavier tasks and to mow the lawn and all of that stuff. No, nowadays, I see where that kind of thinking kind of is changing, and it also affects persons when they're grown. For example, say a brother and a sister in a family, right? And all the mother or the parents did was let the girl child stay in the kitchen, do the cooking, do the dishes and all of that, and the boy doesn't do anything. When that boy becomes a man now, he's not going to know how to cook or to clean or whatever, because he wasn't taught those roles as a child. And for the females now, they are taught how to take care of the home when they're young. So what about sometimes? So what about when they are older and other life things get in the way, marriage and all of that, right?
So in this, that what you just said, so in this case now, you have the male, they believe that the female should do most of the work. They should
Exactly.
eat, they go out, they play football, they relax, they watch TV, and they decide that the wife's supposed to wash, the wife's supposed to cook, put the dinner on the table, and they just come to the table, sit and eat, because they
Right.
weren't taught how to do anything.
Exactly. And I personally have like an issue with that. I believe in tradition, but not to that extent where all of the burden of the household rests solely on the wife or the female. No, I believe that the household should be shared. The man can do something and the female can do something. We can't be working and you get home before me and you're going to wait on me to come home to cook or to clean the house or something. No, that's unfair. Or if I cook and then I have to go again, share the food and turn around and wash the dishes. No, I believe that things should be shared.
Okay, I'm Jennifer, and I just want to comment. When it speaks about families, no, when this type of situation arises in a family, it's because there is no communication at courtship, right? So even though a person, either male or female, because there are females now who don't do anything at home.
It's true.
Mother do the washing, cook, do everything. I know that. Yeah, and the children doesn't know how to cook. Also the male. But when that situation arises, it should never be brought in a well, it would have appeared in a person who is not have the knowledge about family. But for us as Seventh-day Adventists who have so many teachings, it should never happen, because in courtship you deal with all these issues,
All the rules.
all the issues, what would you like to happen, how many children you like to have, how do you do the chores, how do you share the burdens of
Right,
the home.
right.
So in the good family or the good thinking couple relationship, all these things would have been discussed.
That's true. But unfortunately, sometimes these things don't come out until persons are married. Sometimes, right?
true.
Yes.
So
Anything else?
when these things come out after you have gotten married, how do you deal with it? Because these things bring issues, and they bring struggles, and they bring stress, and they bring quarrels and stuff. So how do you deal with it to curtail the problems, to help to bring it together, that the persons help each other? Because the Bible says sometimes the men think that the woman should do all the work, but what the Bible says, she's the helpmeet. She's not the helper.
Right, right.
Help meet. And we sometimes the men overlook that issue. But as a Christian couple, how do we seek to balance that now? Groom the man around that thing and so that there is no issue.
I think it starts within the home.
But if it's,
Right. So, like our generation
Yeah.
now, we since we're learning this and we're learning the implications of dysfunctional families,
Right.
it has to start with us. So
Yes.
when we have our male child, our children, we have to now teach them the proper things to do and to say and all of that. And we also have to teach our females the same thing too. So it's gonna have to start within the home.
yes.
Right. So for now, for the persons who are now in marriage and facing these difficulties, they can speak to a counselor. Like go to your pastor or a marriage counselor or somebody
Okay.
and to try and rectify the situation. Come to an agreement, say that, okay, fine. I don't like doing the dishes, but I'll cook. Or I don't like cooking, but I'll do the dishes.
Okay, good.
All right. So the presence of sibling in the home, however, does affect a child development. Having a sibling affects one's social skills. Those with a sister or brother are often more agreeable and sympathetic. What do you think about that statement? You believe that if you're an only child, you are less agreeable and less sympathetic, as it relates to if you have siblings, you are more agreeable and more sympathetic.
When you have siblings in the family, you learn to realize that all is not yours.
True, true.
Have issue. You're not mama's only child. But when you have a single person in the family, that person can become selfish. I have experienced that. My daughter is a single person, and she's very selfish, even to this day. When you're down there, and she see me and start to stand up, mommy, what are you talking about? And she finds some excuse to come in and butt argument. So when you have a couple children in the family, especially although there can be children in the family and your parents' preference too. So that also can bring a problem. But when they don't have preference, single parents are very selfish. Single child is very selfish.
Sister
Right.
Jennifer, is it possible for you not to have a preference within the child?
If you have more than one
have more than
children.
I don't think that is what I would say is that you can have preference, but your preference should not be eminent. It must not be like everybody knows they
Right,
have a
everybody
favorite.
know, right?
Yeah, you it's inside, because look here, we are human beings, and we have favorites, and we like you more because you're that and you're tall and whatever, and you're browner. You're browner. Yes, that's how in families. You're browner and you're brighter, and people like that. But it should not be seen evidently every day, like Jacob store with the coat of many colors.
Right.
It should not be evident you bring, because if it's evident like that, it's gonna bring rivalry.
That's true.
Ultimately rivalry and fuss, and that's not healthy for the family. So you can have favorites, but keep it here. Keep it here,
That's right.
and help the others who are not favorite
Right.
to come up to the standard of favorite.
All right. Going back to the question that I had asked as it relates to being an only child and whatnot. For my mother, I am an only child, and admittedly, I do see where I am not. I am not as sympathetic as other
True,
persons would be. Not saying that I'm not sympathetic, but persons who grew up with siblings or like other persons in their family, they are more sympathetic than I am, and they are more likely to agree to things than I am. For me, persons would say that I'm in this bubble, I'm mommy's princess or whatever. I don't see it, but persons do. So, for me, when it comes to things that I want, I sometimes have difficulty knowing that it's not everything that you want you're going to get, right? Seeing that I'm used to that as a child coming up. When I'm older now and I'm in the real world, I have this expectancy to get things that I want. And now I am learning that it's not always like that. You're not going to get everything that you want. It's okay when people say no, right? So I am learning to deal with that no. So my sister here grew up with siblings. How is your experience with your siblings? Do you think having siblings affected how you turn as an adult?
Well, for me, I would rather be a single child. Me and my brother couldn't agree. We fight every day. So for that, I didn't like it. But now we grow up, we interact with each other. Maybe when you're smaller, it was.
Right.
But now that we grew up together and we are now adult, it's better.
Right. So I hear there. I have also writing saying that having siblings in adulthood helps alleviate depression and anxiety, because you have that one person, that one brother or that one sister who is always gonna have your back. For me, on my mommy's side, I don't have anybody. I just have myself. So persons always say to me, "Oh, I wish I was an only child. I wish I didn't have any siblings." Trust me, it gets lonely sometimes when you want somebody to talk to, or when you see siblings interacting and you look at them, you're like, I wish I had a sibling to interact with like that, Right, so it's kind of hard being an only child, but again,
Better, good.
sometimes it depends.
Some
It
of them
depends.
take advantage of it.
Okay.
If the child has somebody to guide them,
No child having a guide.
the child didn't get any
I'm
guidance.
talking about those who don't have any guide.
No guide.
No guide. Just children. Just children.
Just children.
Looking after children.
I don't really have any expertise in that. I don't
Okay.
know. I really don't know. But I believe that if children get the proper guidance, even if the parents are in foreign land sending the money or sending the burden to them, I do believe that they turned out fine. I had a friend in high school, and she stayed with one of her church sister because her mother was in America.
Okay.
And she turned out pretty good. She's fine.
Well, the church sister, I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If the children get the proper guidance.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
One instance. So, at my workplace, I got a call the other day, and the parent said, I sent some money for my son's school fee the other day, and I want to know if he's going to school." She said she have to go. The only thing she have to do, she have to go overseas to
Okay.
work so he can have a better life. Is she alone with him? And to my surprise, when I check it, I don't see where he's coming to school. He's taking her money.
Dropping her blind.
Right.
So she was there crying. She cannot believe it. She's over there working so hard to make his life better, and he's wasting the money, not coming to school to get an education to better off himself.
That's true. A lot. I saw a lot of that happening in at my time at university. There are some persons that I started university with in first semester, and second semester I did not see those persons. The class was full first semester, first year, and by the second semester I did not see those people. One of my classmates, I can never forget this. We used to call him Burger King because every time you see him,
There's a Burger King box.
he's always eating Burger King. So he got so frustrated one day and walked out of the class and said, "I better me take my mother money and buy one car and start one taxi,
Oh my God.
And honestly, I believe that's what he did. I don't know, but I just believe that's what he did because I didn't see him back in second semester of first year, and I haven't seen him since then. So sometimes it does happen. Children do take advantage of their parents not being there with them, but some do see that they need to do better. Right. So it's not always okay. So next question now is how healthy families, we've been talking about how dysfunctional family affects children. What if you're in a healthy family settings? How does that affect children? The mother speaks well to the husband speaks well to the father, they are in a good relationship with God. How does that affect children? Sister Jennifer?
Negatively or positively?
Positively. I don't think that would negatively affect children if they're in a healthy family setting.
Sometimes, you see, children, let me tell you something, my dear sister panelist. Children have a way of taking instruction from their peers. So they can be in a good relationship at home with their parents. Their parents are bununos. They're loving, they love them, they care for them. And that child on the road is a rebel. That child can be taking, we call it peer pressure from other persons. So that child can be good at home, come to church every Sabbath or Sunday, and yet still that child is a devil at home. So it's not really, it's as it ups and it as it downs. Yeah, children who will stick to the rules and be good children here. But if you look at today's society, how our children are being socialized, it's different from when our day. Because the children have more power over them per se than their parents. So they more listen to their peers than what their parents is saying. So it's not really like it's good or it's bad, because it has it upside down. Same way, just the same.
Right, they can have a good, healthy family, and that child, they only portray that behavior when they're in the home. When they are out, they are totally, you wonder where they come from. Totally different person. And when they reach at the gate, they put on back that clothes and they go inside. And the parent believe that was all good. When I was going to high school, my classmate, his mother thought he was doing fine in school. And when she came to school that day and saw him up by the farm with weed in his mouth, she was astonished. She could not believe that that was her son at no point. And that was the last day he put foot in school. She said she will never put saint again. She said she worked so hard. So they can be saints in the home, and when they go out with their peers and they think they are Satan. All right, so we'll be having a special by Sister Christine Campbell.
If home is really where the heart is, then home must be a place we all can share. For even with our differences, our hearts are much the same. For where love is, we come together there. Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone's dreaming, we can live together there. Love will be your home. Wherever there are children singing, where a tender heart is beating, we can live together there. Love will be your home. At home, our hearts can be a family. far apart, our hearts can be as one when love brings us together in one place. Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone's dreaming, we can live together there. Love will be our home. Wherever there are children singing, where a tender heart is beating, we can live together there. Love will be our home. 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 Wherever there is laughter ringing, someone smiling, someone's dreaming, we can live together there. Love will be our home. Wherever there are children singing, where a tender heart is beating, we can live together there. Love will be our home.
Okay, Sister Jennifer. All right, so tell us, how can divorce affect the children?
Well, that's one of the worst case scenario. Divorce affects the children more than anybody else. The child suffers, or the children is the one who suffers. My parents, my father, where I grew up in a home, a married home, where the children, mother and father, good family. I thought, I said to myself, Sister Panelist,
Right, it's a healthy family.
yes, man. I said, I want to be like my mother, and they were so living, so loving. They were so nice. We grew up, and things were so good, sister. My father used to send a knife and fork, table well set, kettle, saucer, whatever, soup in this, and it was so nice. And I said, that's how I would like my family to grow up. And I said, when I grow up, I want to be of one man, and that would be my husband. But at 16, tragedy struck. My father and my mother separated, and that caused havoc in our lives. And I never got over that thing. I don't know, I just couldn't bounce back. I just wonder why these two people living so loving all become violent to each other, and all these cussing and going on. And I couldn't believe it, and that kind of mashed my brain. A lot of times the people, sometimes I used to people going around, is that everybody can bounce back from a situation easily.
Right. Seven brothers, seven different minds,
Yeah,
right?
years that thing in my back of my head. And it's just recently that I learned to accept the thing.
Right.
Because my father got married 4 times.
After your mommy.
Yes, my mother first, and he got married 4 times after that.
So
So it's tragic.
right,
It's
so
tragic.
you think being your parents divorcing at such an early age, you think that shaped how you turned out to
Yes,
be
it
as an
did.
adult?
Yes, it did. It did
How
shape.
how so? Did you change? Were you more like a subtle teenager and then you become more aggressive,
I changed for the worst.
really?
Yes, because my parents were strict parents. Yeah, they're strict. They send us to church and we come back without going anywhere, and we stay home. And they teach us no boyfriend and stuff like that until we are be old enough to get married. So we have that type of good life, good teachings. And then when they come and divorce and we call it mash up, you say, oh, well, this good life is not real anymore. So you broke out. It affected me greatly. I broke out.
Boss was like a baby kite.
Literally broke out. Oh, I'm on the hair. Sorry about that. Yes, it affects us.
Right.
And I, you see, looking at children, you know, when I was growing up, I want to become a fashion designer. That's what my goal. Because my mother was a dressmaker. She do all this, the needle stuff, crochet,
Right.
knitting. She does knit baby clothes, crochet, whatever. She does just tablecloth. She was just cool at that. I said, I want to be a fashion designer. I want to have my own store, go to school, get my own store, and I don't want to get any. I want to get my rolls of cloth line up when the client come in. They will just order, choose the cloth. I will just have that type of dream.
Right.
Before 16. So when I went 16 years ago, when that happened, all them things won't fly through the door.
All your dreams just
Mash up.
go away.
Yeah, go.
So, do you think that dream that you wanted to be a fashion designer was based solely because of your mother being a dressmaker, or is it that you wanted to be?
I was grown up around a machine. My mother was always sewing for people.
Right, but was it something that you loved?
And I love it. I would take the scraps, make things, try to crochet, try to knit, do everything. So I can knit, crochet like just like my mother. Yeah. So I learned. I love it. So when my mother and my father said, Jennifer, we're going to send you to high school, because when my mother and my father was together, they said, okay, we talk together as a family. We talk together. I don't know. We talk together and they tell us what the dreams they had for us. I want all your guys to be educated, have a good job. And I said, Mama and Papa, I don't want education. I want fashion design.
Fashion designing.
Yes, so that was my goal. And they
That
were
was
going
your-
to send me off to school. After graduating from school, 16 years, and then you graduate at 16. They send me off, and by the time the bombshell dropped. So there was no going to no
Just
school.
not going to school.
But I could have bounced back. As I said before, I just threw the thing through the door. I just
gave up.
gave up on the thing, you know. Yeah, like that. Literally. And then my daughter come along, and then it's worse.
Okay, understand. All right. So, anything you want to add as it relates to when parents divorce, how it affects children? I personally don't have any experience with divorcing parents. None of my friends or people I know that I can think of know their parents are divorced. So I don't really know how it would affect children more than what like I read or what sister just said. I don't have any knowledge of that. Do you have anything to add, sister?
All right. In the situation of a divorce with the children now, you know that the mother going to leave or the father going to leave. Now the child, who the child wants to be with, that is the next problem. The child
that's
might
true.
want to be with their father. The mother said, no, I'm not leaving my child. So it would cause problem there with the child. And what if the child wants to be the father and the mother has a child?
Right, understand. And as soon as you said that,
So the child might have less care of this world and no father to grow around, no mother. So it affect the child negatively.
right, as soon as I said that, something came to me. You hear people saying when you have more than 2 yards, picnic don't grow good.
Yeah.
So in that case,
Yes.
no,
Yeah.
when they're at mommy's house,
Different
the
teaching.
different teaching, the
Right.
mommy might be more strict or might be more lax. And when they're at the father's house, the father they're free, right? So when they're at mommy's house, mommy might say in the house at 6 o'clock. And when they're at their father, the father might say, you can stay up till 7. So, you know, you have two conflicting teachings.
Right.
So obviously the child is going to go towards or lean towards the parent who is more lax.
Leaning.
And the parent who's more strict now, the child might have resentment
Right.
towards that parent, saying that you don't love me like my father loved me or want it because my daddy let me stay out later than.
Right, exactly.
That's true. All right, so the next thing we are going to talk about is when a parent or a parent in the family has passed on, how that has affected the children. All right, but before we move on to that, we are going to have another special by Sister Campbell.
Today a man is somewhere proclaiming the good news, winning families to Jesus all around his neighborhood. He tells them that God is able to make their house a home. He wants to win his world for Christ, but he can't do it alone. Each one can reach one. As we follow after Christ, we all can lead one. Can lead one to the Savior, and together we can tell the world that Jesus is the way. If we each one reach one, the message is unchanging, going into all the world, and share your love for Jesus, far away and door to door. You see, just like somebody told you that Jesus loves you so, you must tell someone who'll tell someone until the whole world knows. For each one can reach one. As we follow after Christ, we all can lead one. We can lead one to the Savior, and together we can tell the world that Jesus is the way. If we each one reach one, and together we can tell the world that Jesus is the way. If we each one reach one.
All right, thank you, Sister Campbell, for that lovely singing. So we have a special guest here with us, Sister Campbell, right? And she is going to share some points with us as it relates to when a parent dies within the family. How does that affect the children? Sister Campbell.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Christine Dixon Campbell. And how does it affect the children or the family? It affects a whole lot. because worse if the father was the disciplinarian. Sometimes it's not easy, and I always thought that we would go whole together. But we still had 23 years together, and that was very good. It has its ups and downs. But after my husband died, it really affected the family in the sense that apart from being lonely and the children missing their father, it put a lot of pressure on me because now I have to be strong for them.
Right.
And that wasn't easy. I pretended sometimes like things was okay, and it wasn't, because I did not want them to see the weak
Right.
person
Mommy breaking down.
Yeah, breaking down. I had to be strong, and I had to reach out to God a lot. Sometimes, to be honest, I felt that God wasn't near, because sometimes I said to myself, why me? But it's like God was putting us as family through a stage of process in our lives, and it has taught me to trust God more, because I needed Him more than ever.
Right.
Because He was a disciplinarian, as I said before.
Right.
He would know when to put down his foot and all of that. I was more
The soft
soft,
one.
right, you know. And to be honest, sometimes I did not know how to deal with things. And my husband was there,
Right.
you know, to
The
say,
backbone.
yes, Christine, this is not the way you should do it. This is the way, you know. And he was a man of God.
Right.
You know, so I would have to listen to him, because remember, he's the household,
Right, he's the
he's
head.
So, you know, I knew that I had to listen to him sometimes when he speaks. But it wasn't easy. It was very hard. Very hard.
Very hard. Right.
Yeah.
Understand. Do you think that his passing affect how your children how they grow up, like after he passed? Like,
Yes,
did they change?
Yes, it did. Some of them, because some certain things they would do now, and sometimes I hear like they said, if daddy was here, I'm gonna do this, you know. But because I went through this stress, sometimes I just lay it aside.
Right.
You know? But I knew if he was here, I tell you, man, he would shake them, you know, make
Right.
sure
Make them pull up them
pull up
socks,
them
right.
socks, and you know, I know if he was here. And that's another thing I miss.
Right.
You know, him not being here. But God is able, and whatever we ask in His name, He will. No doubt about it. He will come true for us.
Yeah, but that's right. All right, so moving on to another question we have for you, Sister Campbell, as it relates to how husbands and wives should interact with the home. We asked you because neither of us here are married, so we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. we don't know, right? So from your experience, can you share some things that you know that you think are the standard interactions that a wife and husband should have in the family?
Okay. I met my husband when I was 25, 26. And I got a lot of bashing when I met my husband. But I knew that he was the one. And I lost a sister last year, and she was the one who really and truly, you know, saw the good in my husband. And when I told her I met someone, but when she asked me about this person, she said, I told her that he had one leg. And she was saying, no man, you can give you something for drink. And I said no. And he was much older than I am. And again, he had started a family. He had a family before. And I was, you know, a pretty nice, beautiful girl growing up. My sister said, no, 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 no. And I had to really sat her down and talk to her and say, listen, I am going to give this person a try. And to be honest, I am so glad I gave this man a chance because he had made me who I am today because he was a man of God. He didn't have much because, as you know, I teach. I was a teacher before, and he didn't have much, but I knew his circumstances, so I knew he knew God. He knew God, and I knew it was somebody I could work with. And I tell you, I have no regrets. We have 23 years together, and to be honest, I have no regrets because God was the center of our lives. And that is what I'm holding on to. I was holding on to. You know, so that was it. And as husband and wife, I know everything will not be perfect. But when God is in it, you can smile at the storm.
That's true. That's true. So, like in your marriage, like, did you guys have roles?
Yes, man. We had to, because I remember when we got married, by the 9 months after, the first child came. You know, and we had them so fast, those 4 children. And I remember when I was new to the era in Mavis Bank. And what we did was he would leave early in the morning, go to his bush, and then when he comes home, he'll leave very early in the morning, like 5 o'clock, go to the bush, and come home. Then I have to get ready to come to school. You understand me? So we had to do that. And sometimes is what implant. We had to eat. So sometimes when I see Kalaloo, me turn off.
Eat too much.
Because we had so much, you know, because we just had to survive on what he had. Because when I started teaching, it was $9,000 I'm getting, and 4 children. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But let me tell you something. When you care about somebody and you love somebody, and worse, I could not go and complain to my family because they were saying that, me tell you, never to go there. You know, I knew I had to make things work. So I had to depend on God to teach me and to teach the children how to be satisfied. You understand me? And the little that we had, we just had to be satisfied.
That's true, and that's a blessing. I think that's what everybody should yearn for in a marriage or a relationship. Not perfection, but the willingness to work with each other and put God in the center of your marriage and family.
Yes. All right, Sister Christine. All right, in Ellen G. White book, it said, the wife should have no secret to keep from her husband and let other know, and the husband should have no secret to keep from his wife and let other know. In any case, that was
yes. I remember we had the 2 seniors, they have passed on, Sister Hamilton and Sister James, that taught me a lot, because I remember when I was around here at school, Sister Hamilton used to say, Sister Christine Campbell, you say if you have $10, don't tell your husband say it's $10. Tell him it's $5. And you know what to do with the other 5? Save it. Don't make him know. Say it's $10. You save the $5. Because, and to be honest, I did that. But to be honest to my husband who had passed on, he was the saver. Tell you the honest truth. When I was broke, man, I could rely on him. But sometimes it hurt me, you know. You know why it hurts sometimes?
Right.
Because deep down, me know him have money, and when me ask him, he might tell me say him don't have it. But me know him have it, but he might wait till the right time, the right time for come to give it to me. For say, I know you don't have any money, Christine. This I have. You know? But I must tell you, he was a saver.
He was a saver.
Yes,
that's nice.
he
That's
was.
nice. And you know, going back to the instance that you said, my mommy told me something similar with her cousin. So apparently, you know, back in those days, people never go market. So her her cousin and the cousin's mother was having a conversation, because the cousin was married, and the mother said to my mother's cousin, "So when you go to market and you come on back with the money, you know, if you take the heavy thing and give your husband, you know, take some and put under your arm for yourself." And that time the husband was outside hearing what the mother was saying. The husband was outside hearing what the mother was saying to the child. So, you know, after that, then it might have caused some difficulties in that. But I think they were fine, right?
Yes.
Right. So, for me, as it relates to secrets and whatnot, you see, because I'd never grew up in like a husband and wife household, it was like a single mommy thing. So I think it shaped how I view relationships on a whole, because I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but for some reason I believe that what I have is mine. What I work is mine. So that's the mentality I have. So I'm saying, like, I might be wrong, but it's the environment that I grew up in, because it was just my mommy, right? And she was just there. So whatever she had, it was hers. I never saw that she had to split it with anybody or whatnot. She just had her money. So now it's me. It's kind of difficult now for me to share. Right. As it relates to it's not like I'm a mean person, but I find it difficulty to tell somebody exactly like the exact amount of money I have. If I have $500, I'm not gonna say I have $500. I'm not gonna say. If they ask me, you have money on you? No. And then I might say, how much money I talk? And then if I have enough, I might. I just find it difficult to say I have $50,000 at this bank, 10 at that bank, 10 at that bank. I find it difficult. I just believe that I must have like a safety net that like me alone know, but just in case something happens.
Well, for me, as I said before, I did hide what a little that I had. But one thing I did not want to let my husband felt like belittle him in any way.
Right.
No, I did not want him to feel uncomfortable. So I knew once I got paid, I had to buy the groceries. Whatever I knew I had to do, I did it. I did it with love, because I didn't want to, I know that, yes, I am making the money and you're not bringing in any. No. I did not want. If you love somebody, you don't want to hurt
Right,
them.
that's true. That's
No,
true.
I don't. I did not want that, and I don't think that is what God wants of us, neither. You know, you want a loving home. You just have to work together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I understand what you're saying and I agree, but I still have difficulties telling somebody exact amount of money I have. All right. Anything that you want to
All right,
add?
Sister Christine, we as young people coming up and we want to get married. You know, the tongue is very powerful.
Right.
So in the relationship, the tongue should be sanctified. How can we as female, you set the house this way, they go,
Jesus.
the husband pull it up, and you get frustrated, and you feel like you want to take this up, man, and you get mad. How can we control this tongue? What do you think can be done?
You know, you know what comes right to me now? Respecting each other. You have to respect your husband. And I mean, it's not just a lip talk. I would never, 23 years being together with my husband, he has never disrespected me and I have never disrespected him. There wasn't, I could not say any word coming out of my mouth that would belittle him. No. Reason, I respect him so much. I would never. I know there are times when things will come up, but if you respect the person and the person respect you, it ain't not gonna come in. That whatever dirty word or whatever you want going to say to him, it's not going to come out because you respect the person.
Right, that's
I
true.
don't know
That's
about
true.
anybody else, but Brother Campbell was such a person. I just could not. I could not say certain things to him. No, not coming out because I didn't want to hurt him neither. You know, with saying that because you're thinking about the person that you really love, so you don't want to see the person hurt. So I would not say certain things to him. It's not coming out. But I will get angry and say, him have one habit that I did not like. And like when him coming from the bush, I would say, stay right out there and take the dirty clothes off. Please don't carry it inside the house. And him just have him just come and it will just come inside. And worse if I am lying down, him coming to sit beside you know. So that really used to get to me. That really used to get to me, That used to get to me. But I never used to, never, no disrespectful
That's
words.
true. I agree.
Once you respect the person.
Right, I totally agree with you. I think it all boils down to respecting
yes.
a person. Because if I respect you, there are certain things, there are certain boundaries I am not going to cross. I will never cross that.
No.
If you love and respect that person.
Yes.
However, there are some little nitpicks that persons do that might get you upset. Like for example, what you said, like it's the worst thing for me if I leave this pen here. And when I come back, it's over here. And then after asking where the pen is and why it moves, so that's a little issue that what you said. Like I find it annoying when persons move my stuff. Right? Do you have anything that you might be annoyed of when persons do or anything?
A lot.
She said a lot.
I'm easily annoyed. The least thing annoyed me.
Like give me an example. What annoys you when somebody does it to you?
Alright. You see, if I just sweep out the house and you step right in there with your slippers and I tell you that you need to sweep it out, my brother, and he's looking in, he might look me in the face and say, "Me nah sweep it out." Sometimes I just feel to take something and just lick him down because at the end of the day I have to do it.
Right, that's true, right? And that's where being an only child, the good thing comes in, because you know when you're an only child, when you're sweet, there's nobody there to walk, right? There's nobody in there to walk in it, right?
And again, on this Dear Dream on Instagram, they're having this segment of abusive relationship. And trust me, if you read some of those, especially the female
The
stories,
stories,
and they tell you how their male partner,
how they talk to them,
how they
and
talk
call
to
them
them,
names,
how they
and
call them names. And I can't see how they still stay in the relationship for 4 or 5 years, being beaten, cursed. So, some of them, they say they even choke them.
yes, but why they stay, I think again it boils down to the family and how they grew up. If somebody wasn't in a good home and they never got the good teaching or whatever, they might grow up with some self-esteem issues, some family abandonment issues, some daddy issues. Their father wasn't there, so they
Right.
look to men to get that love and to fill the void that they have. So you can't necessarily blame them, because they do have some deep-seated right
yeah,
issues that they
yeah,
need to
issue,
work with, or
yeah,
probably they do
overcome.
have mental illnesses,
Yeah.
and also they might have children. And if they leave, where the kids going to go, where are they going to go? If they leave, they might not be able to get another job. They don't
Right.
have a source of income. So those are things. These are not things to say that you should stay in abuse, you know.
relationship.
Right, but I'm saying that it might be why some of these women decide to stay. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And some of them, they're like, they don't want the child to grow without father. And sometimes those men, they grow up in the home where they see the father do the same to their mother. So
Right.
they grow up that way.
I think if that's the only reason why the women decide to stay with the abuser, if the child should have a father figure, I think that's the wrong reason. Because when that child sees the mother and the father constantly fighting, they are not going to know how a proper relationship is going to be like. So that child is going to then grow up and then abuse somebody else's daughter. So these parents don't have to think about their children and their future. If you are okay financially, right, and you have other person's house or other family member house that you can go to and talk to, why not leave? You can't use because you want the child to have a father while you stay in the relationship. That is no way in shape or form going to help the child, because that child is going to grow up in a broken home and thus repeating the cycle of an abuser. So that's a wrong reason to stay with abusive.
I see where Sister Bev Wright said, sometimes they want to leave, but is afraid the man might kill them. That is the next instance.
That
They
is-
might
that
can
is
walk
true.
out of the relationship, and down the road, the man see them, kill them. So some of the time, that's
true.
why they're afraid to leave.
That is true. That is true, and I do believe that it's a conversation that Jamaica needs to have on a whole as it relates to domestic abuse, because when women or men report the abusers to the police, I don't think the police
They're not
take them
being
serious
serious.
enough. But on the other hand, when the police do take them serious, two are the same people, they may stay back together.
together, that's
Right? That's true. So sometimes they might say, me not get in a man and woman argument, or cockroach in a business in a full fight. Right? So that might be the reason why persons are afraid to talk.
All right. So a next story on the Dear Dream thing. This is a young lady where she said from she was small growing up, she see her father beating her mom, and she don't know why her mom stay in that relationship all her life growing up. And she said now she is so aggressive towards men. And her mom is like, why are you so aggressive? The same behavior she get from her father all the day of her life growing up. And she like, no, she's mom, why? Why you stay? You could move. I don't want you to grow without a father. So sometimes it's the female fault as well.
Oh, all right. Guys, do remind you that we are streaming live on YouTube at Mavis Bank SDA. You may send in your questions or comment to join in our discussions. As you said with the story that you saw online, I also saw that story, and I also was taken aback by the experience, because she did say that because she saw how her father treated her mother, she grew up to be so aggressive, right? So she know growing up so aggressive, she might also be an abuser, because it's not only men alone can be abusive, females can be abusive too. They might not be abusive with like fists or whatever, but they can be very abusive when it comes to the tongue. So she might then know be trapped in another cycle of being an abusive female, right?
All right, so Sister Shauna K. Johnson is saying to speak of the woman too who abuse men, and that's what Monique was just speaking
Right,
about.
right. So I'm saying that not only men alone can be abusive, and unfortunately, when men report abuse by their female partners, persons might laugh at them and not take it seriously. And this is a conversation that we really do need to have, that women can be just as abusive as men, right? We can't have it one way. Only women can be abused. Men have feelings too, and they feel abused too. So we need to then, I think, train persons or first responders, train our first responders or police that also handle situations where men are being abused, to create a safe space so that men can report their abuse. Because it makes no sense if a guy comes to the police station and the policemen run him and say, you know,
yeah man,
yeah man,
you have it tough.
Exactly.
Not all men are rough. You
Exactly.
have some soft one.
Right, right. So unfortunately, I don't know any stories of females abuse them. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the men are not speaking because they might be afraid. So men, this is your chance to talk about your abusive relationships, right?
I think there was an incident, I'm not sure in which parish, the other day. This young man, he's always beating his girlfriend, and his mother said he was tired of it. She decided she's not going over there. He's always beating her. And this one time now he decided to beat her. She decided she's going to beat him back. And she did whip him. And she did stab him. And she did kill him.
In Jamaica here?
Yes.
Which parish is this?
I don't remember the parish.
Oh, wow. So nobody could intervene before this happened? What about the police? Did the police?
All right, so they said it was being reported.
So she was reporting the abuse before.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it's love why she left from Tivoli to visit somebody. I think it was in Westmoreland. From Tivoli. She was living in Tivoli and he's from Westmoreland.
So she was living in Westmoreland with him.
Right.
Okay. And he was abusing her.
Right.
And she has been reporting it, and then nothing comes.
Out.
But then the last time she decided to fight back.
She decided to fight back.
Okay. Did the report say that she was arrested or anything?
She was arrested.
So all right, in an instance like that, do you think no, it's fair to have her in prison for basically self-defense?
Self-defense, no. Not
You
at
don't
all,
think so?
no.
Sister Christine, do you think she should be in prison?
I don't know much about law, but she took a person's life. True. No, she has to pay for it. You understand? I know she has been abused and all of that, but she has taken a life.
That's
So,
true.
sorry. I think to be honest, she should have left.
She should.
Yeah, she had a choice.
She had a choice.
She had a choice. And the choices she made was to fight back. And that's what happened. No, she's in trouble. But I think she should have just left.
That's true. She could have or she should have left, but she didn't.
Not.
She did not leave, but this is where I'm going to differ from other person's view. I don't think that should be punished severely, right? Because we don't know the instances why she stayed. Not saying that it's right, but I do believe that if it's self-defense, then I don't think that she should be punished severely. Yes, she took a life, but if she didn't do that, it was her. Is it a fight or flight, or take or be taken in that situation? And she decided to take a life. Sister Campbell said she should have flied.
All right. So next question. In a husband and wife situation, it said never should either the husband or the wife, in sport or in any manner, complain to each other to a next person. So you're having issues in the home and so forth, and you go out, and me and my husband in some arguments, and I take it outside the home. I go to Sister Monique, I tell Sister Monique about it. She's giving me advice what to do. He went out to his friend. You think that's something good, or should we find a counselor, find a pastor?
There's are certain things that you just don't want to discuss with certain people, especially your in-laws,
Right.
because sometimes and most time it brings animosity.
That's
because
true.
if I go and tell my sister, what is happening, or she's going to she's going to dislike my husband,
Right.
or she's going to say bad things about him,
And then you have
and
forgiven
then
him, and
right,
she
then
still has the feeling.
exactly. So sometimes, most times, we have to be careful. I know you must have somebody, even one person, you can share your thoughts with, what you're going through and all of that. But you don't have to carry your business all over the place.
That's
and
true.
it's not everything what happening inside your house. You take it
Should
to
leave.
your family member, or your brother, or your sister, or your mommy. Or no, them going to hear our feelings. Animosity is coming in, and I don't want that. I just
Right.
don't want that.
That's true. That's true. I do believe what you said, Sister Campbell, as it relates to, it's not everything that you should tell your family members or your friends, and this is where communication comes in, right? This is where proper communication skills come in. If you have a disagreement, then I believe that you should be able to say, even if you're not talking today, in the day, right? When you get home, you must be able to say, I didn't like the way how you said that to me, or I didn't like how this situation went today. Let us discuss this. Let us move forward from this and be better, right? Didn't it say that you're not supposed to go to bed angry? Exactly, right?
Don't make the sun go down.
Right. Don't make the sun go down.
All right. Read the abusive relationship. I see where Sister Dia said that's why it's important when you make a report, you collect a receipt from the police to say yes, you made that report. You made the report to that police officer.
Yes,
He
that's
did
true.
not
That's
do
true.
anything
That's
towards it.
Very good question. Very good.
And I see where Sister Shana K. Johnson is saying that we have to understand that each situation is different. It is not easy for an individual to leave an abusive relationship. Especially when there is a self-esteem issue, the person may be brainwashed to think that they are no good or they don't deserve better.
Exactly, that's true. That's what I'm saying. Each situation is different, right? So if somebody have a mental issue aided with self-esteem issues, it might be super hard to get that person away from their abuser, because what's the name again? What's the thing where when you're kidnapped and then you start to feel sorry for your kidnapper? What's that called again? I don't remember the term now, but that person is going to have that feelings towards their abuser. They might feel like it's my fault why this is happening. Maybe if I just do what he says, he won't be angry at me, he won't hit me, and the cycle just continues and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So it's kind of hard to leave certain situations.
And you have even some females that believe that if my fiance is not beating me, don't love me.
I have
So we
never
have-
met a female with that thought. I've heard about it, but I've never met anybody with that. Thankfully, none of my friends think like that. I don't think I can handle that. Don't. I think that's the height of stupidity. I really do. I really don't think I can handle. Yes, I don't think that I can handle one of my friends saying that if my man or my fiance don't beat me, then he does not. I don't think I can be friends with that person anymore. I don't want that negativity around me. No. Moving on.
All right. Next one is Sister Christine. Do you think either party should indulge in a joke at an expense of the other feeling?
It depends. Joke?
Really?
You mean to hurt the person? Feelings?
Right, you're running a joke, but then the person feel away after the joke. Right, they might
Like
not
you-
say it at the same time, but after they say that, I never liked that joke that you ran because I felt away.
But sometimes people do pranks on one another, you know? And sometimes it turn out bad, you know? But it's a form of, two people getting to know each other too. You know, it can be. You see how the person react.
Right,
it depends on the
right.
prank itself. You understand? Because sometimes you do some things and you look how the person react. That time it not true. It's not true. You're just you're just doing it to see how the person react, and that is how you know the person too. So it depends. Sometimes it is hurtful, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty, you just want to know how the person would
Right.
feel.
Right,
Yes.
right. So what happens now when the person is intentionally playing pranks or running jokes to hurt somebody's their partner's feeling?
You can't do that. If it's the prank really have an impact on the person and it hurts, all you have to do is just say, I'm sorry. You try, tell the person you never mean to do it, and it just work out bad.
Okay.
It just end bad. And all you do, I'm sorry. You apologize. You apologize.
All right, in case where a man is desperate for a child and his girlfriend put a prank on him that she's pregnant and he's so happy and everything.
That is
and
wrong.
only to tell him that it's a joke.
No,
that is wrong.
that is wrong.
That is
wrong. That is not a joke. That is not a joke. That is so wrong. Because if you know that somebody desperately wants something and you're going to play with that person's feelings,
You have
no.
to be careful. You have to be
No.
careful.
As the way Sister Dias is saying that you should not make a joke to hurt someone's
Someone's feelings.
feelings.
That's true. That's true.
So
Right,
some
and-
types of jokes.
Yeah, some
It's
jokes you
a
just don't
no-no.
know. Right.
Right.
Right. And I think this is where like what Sister Jennifer was saying, in the courtship time, you set boundaries. You set clear boundaries as to what you think you can handle or what lines you don't want your partner to cross. You set those clear boundaries from early on, that you don't have these issues later on in the marriage.
Right. All right, so we're at the end of it all. I'm not sure if the viewers have any question they want to ask. We want to thank Sister Christine and Sister Jennifer
You're welcome.
for being our guests this afternoon.
All right, guys. Also want to thank our guests for being here with us. I know that the children are off of school now, so I think this is the time where parents can get to know their children, right? Know who their friends are, get to know how they're going in school, You know, get to know your children. Use this time wisely since you're home with the old quarantine and thing. Get to know your children so that you can know what is going on with their life. They might feel that they're being left out or whatnot. This is the time to know to pull these things from them, and then to reassure them that you do love them and you do want the best for them.
Take them into the kitchen, teach them how to cook, to do their little stuff, how to help around with the house chores, so they can be a good husband when they reach that stage in life.
And a good wife.
And a good wife.
Right, and a good
As
wife.
well.
Right, remember, it takes two to tango. All right, thank you again, viewers, for tuning in with us. We'll see you again same time next week for AY.
Have yourself a blessed Sabbath and a great week. Thank you.